Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You were till for a PENDREAM TV in Pacho. When you say the news not all from an the bro. News say all babeti in Pacho. So what do you want to Trebia and as what in Trefa news be I present your platform you saw for your voice note not for sending it. I was 0277 128 777. The debate to PENDREAM FM. So
all the blame of how we've come less or far as a country to Dr. Mahmoud Bawuliar. Malik.
In 2018, admitted the growth rate was 6.5%. He said that was the sterling performance of Mahmoud Bawuliar, doctor. 2018. Yes. Then you asked him, in 2022, 2023, we've been hovering around 1.5% growth rates. In fact, the projected growth rate figure is still 1.5. That one, he says, put all of them together. That is not one man's failure.
Well, somebody will ask, that's fair.
I mean, fair to give credit to same person in 2018 for what he claims is a sterling performance. And today, because things are not going on well, you shouldn't put the blame on just one person. What kind of analogy is this? Who thinks this way? You see, this attitude of Alhaji Bawuliar, together with people, of this sort, trying to run away when things are bad, does not help us. So ask yourself, are you being fair to Mr. Akufo-Addo if you do this to the man? Look, first of all, Roland, what Alhaji Bawuliar did not know is that a trotro mate, in fact, has control and command over the movement of a vehicle even the driver. It is the trotro mate who determines where the driver should stop. It is the trotro mate who tells the driver move, Oyalo, and the driver moves. It is the trotro mate who says turn here, let's pick passengers, and the driver turns there. So for the success, for a trotro business to succeed, it depends on the caliber of mate you employ to man your trotro affairs and to collect monies and to direct and to look for passengers. But you see, if you make a mistake and appoint a selfish person, if you appoint a wicked person, if you appoint a liar, in fact, if you appoint a Judas Iscariot,
what do you mean by a liar?
Your story could be no different than what Mr.
What do you mean by a liar?
I would explain that into details than what Mr. Akufo-Addo is experiencing today. Look, Roland, you and I should plead on Mr. Akufo-Addo to take 2 minutes of his time, sit down, and listen again to Alhaji Bawuliar. And you realize that the man was insulting him. Indirectly, what Alhaji Bawuliar is telling Mr. Akufo-Addo is that, say, the e-levy you imposed on Ghanaians is a wicked tax. When I win, I will scrap it. What he's telling Mr. Akufo-Addo is that the tax on bets you imposed on Ghanaians, it's a wicked one and you are insensitive. When I win, I will scrap it. What he's telling Mr. Akufo-Addo is that the emission levy, and to even think of imposing tax on electricity, it's a very wicked and insensitive one, and when I win, I'll scrap it. But what I feel sad for is why Bawuliar cannot kneel down in front of a man who had hope in him some 16 years ago and tell him that, say, the size of your government is too huge. In fact, to begin with, remove your daughter Jankroma from being an appointee at the Creative Arts Ministry. Let me also remove my wife's brother, Abu Ramadan. Let me remove my wife's father, Mr. Ramadan. Let me remove my own brother, Mumudi Bawuliar, at the Interior Ministry, so we could start cutting down the size of government. Because when I win, I want to appoint 50 ministers. That is what Bawuliar is indirectly telling Mr. Akufo-Addo. You see, Roland, you can bath a monkey. In fact, use Dettol. Put perfume in his armpits. Wear him duku. Bring it out. It is still a monkey. Alhaji Bawuliar has demonstrated from the first day of being a vice president that he's incapable and he lies whenever he gets the opportunity. And I go to line number 1. Alhaji Bawuliar stood on the podium and told you and I, Roland, told you and I, that the Ghana card, okay, from 2003 or whatever till 2016 had issued only 900,000 cards.
Well, that's what he said.
That is preposterous. For Alhaji Bawuliar to have said that, he should go and ask Ken Atefa. In 2017, a committee was set up to investigate and analyze the proceeds and the doing of the Ghana card. It was established that what President Mahama had built on was so robust and they needed to maintain the same system. That is how come people who had Ghana cards earlier, okay, still had the same numbers even on the new system. And as of 2017, 1.2 million Ghana cards had been done by the NDC government. Number two, Alhaji Bawumia, students said that the passport online system was brought into force under his administration. Why? Dr. Bawumia didn't watch TV the entire 2016 or what?
What do you mean by
Roland, your media men were there when Hannah Tete was launching the online passport services. True or false? You captured her on tape when she cut short for it. In fact, in 2016, people started applying for passports online. Since when did that become Alhaji Bawumia's baby? Tell me, since when? What kind of lies is this? Who lies this way? The Alhaji Bawumia, again, said they brought what we call the e-services, ghana.gov.gh. Look, this is Green Book.
The government portal.
Absolutely. When was it launched? In 2014, 2015, 2016. Look, this is the last page. What is this? E-services. Everyone can take a look at it. This is exactly the system they are using for that so-called ghana.gov.gh. This is it. It was an e-services platform where people could go online, where people could access various services like the DVLA, the police service, the immigration service, and what have you, on a domain. And it is the same thing the NPP came and continuously used as a government. Again, Alhaji Bawumia stood, and what surprised me is that a same man who said they had created 2.2 million jobs, first 2.3, reduced it to 2.2, now says 2.1. Roland, are you aware that first of all, in 2016, what we call the Ghana Living Standard Survey did a report, and in the entire population of over 28 million Ghanaians, the unemployed population was a paltry 1.2 million in 2016. Assuming, let's even put aside what the Minister for Employment said, the 5.3. Let's say he was joking. Let's put aside what the Minister of Employment again said 5.2 jobs created. Let's say at that time he was under the influence of something. But let's scrutinize Alhaji Bawumia's figures. Even in 2020, the unemployment ratio in this country and the number of persons who were unemployed were about 1.5. And so if Alhaji Bawumia's jobs he claimed he had created were indeed true, then it means that what John Bodu said is true today. That we will go to N0nsense, we will go to the United States and beg people to come and work for us.
Meaning we should have been having underemployment.
Every Ghanaian in this country should have been employed because the entire population, only 1.7 million people are not employed. And so if Alhaji Bawumia thinks that he has created 2.1 million jobs, then everybody in this country should have been employed. Where we even go to Dubai, go to the USA and look for people to come and work for us in this country. What kind of basic lies are these? But worst of the case is when he speaks about how corruption had been stopped at the passport office. Roland, just last year, the foreign affairs minister, Shirley Ayoko Botwe, went to the passport office and was screaming on top of her voice that there's a lot of corruption ongoing at the passport office. She was shouting, she was weeping. People were sacked. And Alhaji Bawumia tells us that as a result of digitalization, there hasn't been any corruption again at the passport office. What kind of thoughts are these? And he says, what saddens my heart is how his own digitalization is unable to catch his own corrupt practices and the office he works in. And I'll explain that. One, Alhaji Bawumia says through digitalization, corruption has been reduced. When Alhaji Bawumia was changing a contract, from condition precedent to condition subsequent.
Which contract is that?
PDS. When Alhaji Bawumia was changing documents from there presenting a bank guarantee to an insurance guarantee, where they had to siphon 2.1 billion from the state until today, over 1.5 million has not been brought back to the government of Ghana.
Dr. Bawumia?
He says the digitalization tracks corruption. Why didn't he catch his own corruption? Because his own minister, Peter Mewu, told the entire Ghanaian populace that the PDS deal they had signed and the entire insurance guarantee they had provided was fraudulent. And that was a baby of Alhaji Bawumia. Why didn't his own system catch him? In his office, one Kek Osei had taken somebody's 10,000 bags of rice. In fact, he wrote a letter on Alhaji Bawumia's letterhead and presented to GRA to release rice for them to go and share as salary rice. I have repeatedly said that what is the business of Kek Osei with salary rice? In fact, when Buta gets missing in a room and you have Peter and Abudu, who stole the Buta? Kirkhoff say has nothing to do with salary rise. The only one in the office of the vice president who has everything to do with the 10,000 missing salary rise is Alhaji Bawumia. Why didn't his own tracker arrest him?
But Malik,
ask a question.
We have to be sincere.
Yes, ask a question.
If somebody who is delinquent,
yes,
and a criminal or undertakes a criminal action in the vice president's office, how do you allude that to the vice president? If your houseboy commits a criminal offense in your name, will you still keep him working there or you sack him? Answer that question. Straightforward. The man Kekose, as of this morning, 6 a.m., I'm sure by now he's sitting in Bawumia's office watching this program, drinking tea. He is still working in the vice president's office. How do you entertain a criminal in your office if you knew nothing about the crime? And so it is preposterous that Charles Edubwai can't even know how much Alhaji Bawumia takes as appearance fee. Before you sit by him, he says give him $250,000. Why didn't his digitalization arrest all these corrupt practices? Yet he sits down and says it has arrested. In any case, my brother, you have seen corruption even at the presidency. I mean, he may say that at that time his digitalization wasn't launched. But if he had done a pilot version even before the assumption of office, where Mr. Akufo-Addo was taking bundles with his hand, brown envelopes, his digitalization would have the one before the video before
what Martin Amidu called the president the mother serpent of corruption. Did Alhaji Bawumia's digitalization arrest Mr. Akufo-Addo? They did for once. And so those claims must be dismissed and dismissed in full measure. But you see, Roland, interestingly, is when he says he has a new vision for Ghanaians. Every leader who thinks well and thinks about the well-being of the Ghanaian people. And you see, the problem with Alhaji Bawumia is that he doesn't even understand our problem. If you understand our problem, you would find solutions to solve that problem. Tell me, you see Haruna is here. What problem does making NSS mandate obligatory solve? Tell me. What problem in this country? Does making national service not compulsory solve in this country? Tell me the problem. What problem does it solve?
It enables everybody to undertake national service and contribute to the development of the country.
He said he's making it optional. You are telling me it enables anybody. I beg your pardon, please. No, I was quiet. You get your time. Okay, respond. Let me respond.
No, please.
What does making NSS optional solve in this problem? The people even finish undertaking NSS, and industry tells you don't have experience. Today you come to tell us you are making it optional, and that is the major policy of Alhaji Bawumia. He had the guts to say that as a result of digitalization, Kaya years don't carry headpans again. I was looking at him and I said, Madam, so are you telling me that Kaya years now put the things in boxer shorts and carry around?
Why do you call Dr. Bawumia Malam?
I mean, he's a Malam, he's a sheikh, you know that he's Alhaji Bawumia. Why do you sit down and say as a result of digitalization they don't carry headpans? Who thinks this way? Is this the man Mr. Akufo-Addo appointed some 16 years ago? Is this the man he had confidence in? And you have the guts to tell us that Alhaji Bawumia performed creditably well. Let's go to the radar. Today, you know, inflation, where does it stand? We handed over inflation to them at about 12%. 12%. In fact, in this country, inflation has gone high to 54%. Debt to GDP, we gave it to them at 54%. Under this man, Alhaji Bawumia, who says we should have confidence in him, inflation, debt to GDP rose to over 104% in this country. The dollar, let's say even the dollar. You said Alhaji Bawumia was not in charge of everything, but at least we know that he was the one who said I have arrested the dollar, right? And giving the key to the IGP. Was he not the one? Well, it means that for the dollar, we know it was put in his hands. How much are we exchanging a dollar today? How much was he giving to him? We gave you a dollar at 4.2 cedis. Today it's 12.9. At a point it was 15 cedis in this country. And you have the effrontery to come and stand on the podium and tell us Ghanaian people to give you a chance again. What do you take us for? I'm not surprised that I would listen to Mr. Akufo-Addo's video just tonight. And he said all those attempting to become flag bearers and exempt themselves from the woes of this country and say it was Akufo-Addo and I wasn't the one. He said you must be joking. You think the Ghanaian people were not watching you? When Alhaji Bawumia was there eating e-levy cakes, unless you see the tie and dye he wore there, cutting e-levy cakes with his wife, dancing and cheering, so happy that e-levy had come into force. You come and tell us to vote for you so that you scrap e-levy. Look, we must get serious in this country. Roland, I think the Ghanaian people have been given a clear field to make a decision. Look at the 24-hour economy that seeks to give Ghanaian youth jobs in this country, that seeks to increase our growth rates in this country, that seeks to progress development in this country, and look at another man who comes to lie that he will cancel a policy he brought, who comes to lie that he would scrap emission levies that his boss brought.
What do you mean he came to lie?
He came to lie because I have outlisted lies like the Ghana card, like the e-services, like lots of other things he lied, and I've also shown you how he has acted as a Judas Iscariot to his boss, Mr. Akufo-Addo, by attempting to run away from the wars and crises they plunged this country into. But you see, we are not kids, Roland, and the people of this country will laugh and laugh at a man. If you have such a person ever in your life as a vice president, know that you only have a
Malik, I'm surprised. I don't know whether you have cited the 70-point agenda, which is the overall vision of the vice president.
I even cited.
Have you seen it? I can send it to you.
No, I have a hard copy here. This is it. 73 pages of nonsense. It's here.
No,
No, it's here, and I'll explain it. Look.
Why do you make that opinion?
Let me give it to him. He should tell me one that transforms the Ghanaian lives. He should tell me.
In your opinion.
And you should tell us.
In your opinion.
He's here. He's not anywhere. He's here.
Okay.
He's here. He should tell us one that transforms lives of Ghanaian.
But you cannot call this nonsense.
Nothing. There is nothing in this
document.
Nothing in this document.
It's not
that makes sense. Is it a lies? Is it a corrupt practice?
In your opinion, they are lies.
Is it the betrayals of Akufo-Addo in this document that makes sense? Is it telling us that Kaya years don't use headpans again? Is it telling us that he's coming to do economic a-ton because he said he will emulate cook a-ton, he will emulate sing a-ton and do economic
That's
a-ton?
not the language.
I looked at him and I said, sir, the dollar today is at 12 cedi. You want to take 12 cedi to economic a-ton to win what medal for the people of which country? Which country? Please, Roland, let's be serious as a country. Look, I'll land on this. I've repeatedly said that Ghana is in crisis. At this point, we're at a crossroad. The youth of this country don't even know what future they have again. Young people are being born any day, every day, and they don't understand the direction they are taking. This is not time for jokes. This is not time for playing. This is not time for comedy. This is not time for lies. We must be serious, and if we want to foster this country and develop and progress it, let us look into Alhaji Bawumia's face and tell him, say, go back, sit down, take a breather. If you have anything better to offer us, come and tell us. As for these 73 pages, we've thrown it away. It doesn't make sense. And let us, for now, as a people, focus on the 24-hour economy. That is the life changer for the people of this country.
That really is your opinion, because a document well prepared.
In your heart, it is your opinion too. You don't want to say it, but we must be straightforward to Alhaji Bawumia. In your heart, does this make sense? In your heart, be true to yourself.
In my heart,
I mean, tell us. It is
a document that has been put forward by the vice president. So we all need to scrutinize. If your opinion is that the content of that document is a lie, that's your opinion.
So you're happy that Alhaji Bawumia says.
You are not here to
you're happy that Alhaji Bawumia says Kaya years don't use headpans again because of digitalization.
Lawyer Jantwa,
let's be serious in this country.
If you look at the back and forth and also all the anecdotes and innuendos and where we are sitting today, because we have to make reference to what the vice president said in opposition that he would do, and he got the power, and subsequently you look at the state of the economy and you juxtapose that with the 70-point agenda. I don't know whether you have it. I can send it to you.
I've got it.
Oh, you've gotten it.
I've got it.
To have an intent that I am going to abolish taxes, which we now describe as nuisance, having a negative toll on Ghanaians, somebody will say, well, he hasn't been president before. When he becomes president, he will be able to do that. How about that argument?
Good morning to our viewers. Good morning to you, Roland. Let me start by saying Vice President Bawumia should be very mindful of his handlers and advisors.
Why?
And his utterances should be guided. He should take the mood of the people and the countenance of the people in terms of where the country stands today. Very careful. Was he not part of the team? Is he not part of the team? Is he not the vice president?
No.
Malik. No, please.
Is he not the vice president? Does he not sit? Is he not one man who can walk into the president's office and sit one-on-one with him? Is the president not supposed to brainstorm with his vice? They are the two gentlemen in this country who handle the country. And the vice president is trying to tell us. And this is why I say he shouldn't take it as a joke and mimic his presidency as a trotro meet. Shouldn't. It's not a joking matter.
You think that was another joke gone too far?
It isn't a joking matter. And even if we take his example of a trotro meet, he's trying to tell us he's been a trotro mate for the last 7 years. Is what he's telling us.
Yes.
And even if you're a trotro mate, and the driver is driving the trotro into a ditch with the passengers in there, does the trotro mate jump out of the trotro? Doesn't the trotro mate talk to the driver? Hey, driver, doesn't he? And so, if he tells us that he is very proud of the position that was given to him as EMT head, and your advice isn't taken, how can you be proud of it? How? Unfortunately, so far as I can see, it's a huge betrayal of President Akufo-Addo. Huge betrayal. I don't understand how Vice President Bawuliar can say the position of EMT is just advisory, when the president held your hand and said, this is our economic guru who is going to change the economy of Ghana. And so I ask, you bring what? A 70-point vision. Did you offer that 70-point vision to the president? You see, the challenge here is
I don't understand. You want him to offer that advice now?
No. Did he? If he had all these ideas, in the last 7 years, he had all these ideas, did he offer it to the president? For the president to say no. If he offered it to the president and the president said no, then he's telling us that the president is stubborn. That is what he's telling us. That the president doesn't listen to advice. And so because the president doesn't listen to advice, I'm not in favor of what? E-levy. I'm not in favor of VAT. I'm not in favor of some of the taxes. Is that what he's telling us? Or he's dancing with a God that he doesn't understand?
Which is what?
If he understood being there for 7 years and things not working out, it means he's dancing with something that he does not understand. I find it quite remarkable for Dr. Bawuliar to want to take himself out of the challenges that we face. I find it remarkable. Look, let's go to the fiscal deficit that he brought out. You are a journalist. You've gone through it, haven't you? Yes. Is everything he said on there true? Is everything he said on there true? You're a journalist. So, some of the things he said. He said, claim one, inflation has declined from 54% in January. Oh, see, when you're just saying this thing is trying to... Oh, sorry, I beg. My phone is doing rough with me here. Inflation has declined from 54% in January to 23% in December 2023. That is true. That is true. When you take Ghana Statistical Service Monthly Consumer Price Index from December 2023, it was 23.2%. But it's not accurate to say that the rate was 54% in January 2023, because the actual figure was 53.6%. So let's give it to him, 54%.
Approximation.
Yes, approximation. Claim 2. The fiscal deficit, which was reduced from 8.4% in 2016 to 4.1% by 2019, increased to 10.8% in 2020. Not too sure. The fiscal deficit was 8.4% in 2016, 4.1% in 2019, and he's saying 10.8% in 2020. The verdict on that is false. It's false. The Ministry of Finance 2026 fiscal data sheet was 7.8%. IMF 2017, Article 4, Table 1, page 7, overall fiscal deficit was 9.3%. 2019, Ministry of Finance 2019 fiscal sheet with financial sector cleanup, 4.8%. Ministry of Finance 2019 fiscal sheet including financial sector cleanup, 5.8%. 2020 mid-year budget, page 13, 4.8%. Economic and financial indicators 2019 to 2020, 7.5%. 2021 IMF Article 4 without financial cleanup sector debt, 4.7%. It's been false there. 2020. The Ministry of Finance 2020 fiscal data sheet without financial sector cleanup was 11.7%. Ministry of Finance 2020 fiscal data sheet with finance sector cleanup, 13.8%. 2021 mid-year budget, page 18 and 19, 11.7%. 2021 IMF Article 4, 15.2%. Preliminary. False.
Yeah, Chino.
See? So,
Malik.
So
no insinuations, please, Malik.
I don't want to go further. There are others. So even the figures he's given us doesn't match up. It doesn't match up. And he cannot really tell us for where we stand today. He mentioned nothing, absolutely nothing, about if he happens to come in 2025, how he's going to handle the situation of our debt repayments, which has been pushed to 2040, 17
But that
years.
has been negotiated, right?
Huh? It's been negotiated. How do you handle the country? How do you handle the country? Where is the money going to come from? If you realize today, government is relying heavily on treasury bills. Heavily. The treasury bill borrowing today is 21% as opposed to last year. Still borrowing. He said nothing about cutting expenditure. Nothing. Not unless you heard it.
No.
Did you hear it?
I had 50 ministers.
Please, don't let us joke here.
No, but 50 ministers. I'm telling you what I heard.
50 ministers. You know that you can run a government with 50 ministers. Why didn't you advise the president?
Perfect.
I don't understand. You are saying you should advise him now.
No.
And not the future.
Then, are you saying that Vice President Bawuliar hasn't thought of this way back? He's only thinking about it today? Or he's playing to the gallery? He's playing to the gallery. You see, one thing I feel is that he's playing to the gallery now. When he talked about he's going to cancel e-levy, did you see the mood? Did you see the mood in the room? When people clapping, when people singing songs. So it goes to show even they themselves, the MPP people there in the room, did not agree with e-levy. But he sat with the finance minister in parliament. What does that mean?
Or the EMT?
I said whatever. He was there. Was he not in agreement? If he was not in agreement, he should have stayed.
But Mr. Jantwa, if your role is advisory, what can you do?
Is his role advisory?
I'm
If
referring
his
to what
role advisory, why do we take a vice president? What is the use of a vice president? Look, the one president who saw that a vice president wasn't something he required was a Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. if you feel the vice president's position is useless, don't take it. It's not compulsory, not by force. Yes, the constitution says it. Go for an amendment. Go for an amendment. So I would like to hear from the president himself. And let me ask the question. Was the president present at the meeting?
Never.
No. Was the finance minister?
No insinuation.
Was the finance minister present at the meeting? No. Was the finance minister there? What does that tell you?
How does it matter?
Let's say even the president had traveled. He was out of the country. Is there no Zoom? Would he not also give his own rendition or congratulate Vice President Bawuliar? Wasn't President Kufuor there? Wasn't he the first person who spoke? And if the president was sitting there, wouldn't the president have spoken? Where was he? Where was the finance minister? It goes to show that Vice President Bawuliar wasn't given the chance. Wasn't given the chance.
That's what you
act.
read.
Yes. Yes, that's what I read. Wasn't given the chance to act as his position as vice president, because the finance minister had taken over that point of EMT, that bit of EMT. He had taken it over. Because I don't understand how a vice president would want to distance himself from a team he's part and parcel of. Does not make sense to me.
Now, we just have some 3 minutes so that all of us will just wrap up. I'm just going through the 70-pointer, and you look at all the laudable things. One, a growth mindset curriculum for students. We have robotics, STEM. We have expansion of medical schools, admission to Ghana Law School. We have a great fiscal regime, tighten ministers, etc. And I see some great thing, electronic tax amnesty. We also jobs, etc. So the question is, why is he not advising cabinet and the president for some of these to be done before he becomes president?
Roland, I don't know whether you want to see an advice in a physical form. Nobody sees advice walking, and you clearly identify that this is advice. Who tells you that he has not advised? Who tells you that? But before I go into that, I want to
do some rebuttals.
Yes, correct some. There has not been any printing of any Ghana card. Not single. Card. Ghana card under John Mahama. There was no. Please stop.
I'm not talking. I'm not quiet. How is
not? He said 1.8 million cards. It's false. That is a lie. Roland, you should have put him to strict proof.
No, to be truthful.
But it is not.
In my early years when I was here,
yes,
the NIA came
Show
to
me
register.
The card. Yes,
came to register us and gave some of us cards.
I'm telling you, President Kufuor's time, under the same Atefua. Under the same Atefua.
Thank you.
I remember
under the same Atefua.
Roland,
it doesn't matter.
Fact check.
Under the same leader now, this NIA started under President Kufuor. Cars were being issued at that time too. Cars were issued at that time. What has John Mahama added to that? No, you can allow him.
No,
for me, I am very cool.
No, he shouldn't.
With that, you can allow him.
Oh, Mr. Haruna, please go.
And you sit down here and lie to the people that this is what John Mahama had done. Where will you trace that card? What is the use of that card? Please, let us be very magnanimous. When you sit here, you don't speak as if you are the most intelligent. We have the privilege to sit here. There are many people out there who are more knowledgeable in the areas that we are discussing here. Raymond, you sit down here. You allow him, Roland, to allow him use words on the vice president. If it is lies, John Mahama has lied than any other person in this country. He has lied. Just recently, he lied that it is the NDC that has created all the public universities in Ghana. John Mahama comes to lie and tell you that cement is 800, a bag of cement is 800 Ghana cedis. he has been the greatest liar that we know in this country. You come to sit down here and ask that what is the use of making sure that NSS is not compulsory? Did you listen to him? Did you read the script? He indicated the reason why he's saying that NSS should not be compulsory. He said he wants to do so to allow industry players to have access to the fresh graduates who they require to work in their companies to increase productivity and efficiency. Those of them that industry will not be required will go to do national service, and it becomes voluntary. It has prevented many industries not to have access to them because it is a law that you must do national service before you go into public service. It's clearly indicated there. You come to tell us that he has taken this contract, he has done this, he has given to his brother. Have you forgotten? You are from Savannah region. Daboya Road was given to Peter. Daboya, his own brother. Daboya Road was given to Peter. Salaga Yala Road was given to Ibrahim Mahama, his own brother. Bas Rebrandon was given to Salasi Ibrahim. You sit down here and you forget all these things and think that you can throw dust to the eyes of the people? For God's sake, Airbus itself, the kickbacks from Airbus, was he himself the subject matter, the principal himself? That is John Mahama.
There's a Shrine report that has exonerated him. Can we about
investigations were done? No, investigations were done on him by his own president. So it is something that all of us must look at what he has sought to do, the vice president sought to do. The vice president has well articulated his policy, his vision for the good people of Ghana. And that is what we are looking out for. You come to tell us about 24 hours. It has been the most useless thing that we have seen ever. Nothing to talk about. There is no any working statistics around it. It is just a slogan. They put it out there. And I will not sit down here and you allow somebody to use words on the vice president. I want to serve them notice. If they want us to go down by use of words, they will run away. Because if you live in glass houses, don't throw stones.
You are down already.
No, please.
You are wasted. Yes.
If you allow him to use some words, I will come on. Because I'm more radical than he is.
Brother,
So let's just take your time. I'm not jittery, please. My brother.
3 minutes.
Because
because our time is 3 minutes. Please, let's all begin.
You are down there talking about going down.
Please wrap up.
First of all, he says Bawumia.
Fine language.
And this is not how you came to Accra. You are learning from Alhaji Bawumia. You need to stop it. You fact-checked him on this platform and he was exposed. He lied, Roland. Even the vice president said about 900,000 were printed. So how did you arrive at that nothing was printed? Even Alhaji Bawumia, who is your boss and the chief liar, said 900,000 were printed. So please, let us put that aside. Then he spoke about Airbus. Thank God you said it was investigated. But you see, Alhaji Bawumia cannot stand a second of investigation in this country. If he's a man and he has balls, he should stand investigation. No, he said Airbus. President Mahama himself was in charge. He should stand investigation. Why? When Charles Edubuahin said you must pay $250,000 before you say to Alhaji Bawumia, was he talking about me, Malik? Why won't Alhaji Bawumia stand investigation? When he changed PDS into a fraudulent deal and they duped the state, why would he stand investigation? Can you allow me? Look, I allowed him.
No, I'm telling him not to correct him.
Allow me.
Did
he stop it? So please, let us stop all this. Then he said NDC, John Mahama said we created all public universities. Medical delivery.
Medical delivery. Please correct him.
You are building foundation.
I did not say medical delivery. Which guy? My brother, please take your time.
Please, let's
take your time. You don't have a monopoly over the use of language. So tell him.
Calm him down.
No, not tempo. Just reduce your choice of words. Reduce your choice of words.
We all pledge that.
Yeah, very calm. Yes, tell him to calm. He's still, he's picking up small.
You say your choice of language.
I started national politics before you. So don't stop him.
It's okay. Let's not get personal.
I started national politics before you. So
then
when you were still in
You
school,
have a minute, Malik.
yeah, so you can't sit down here and say he
can you
started
control
picking
your
up. No,
panelists?
not my
I
question.
don't like interjections. Then you sat here and said the biggest medical delivery service. You are digging
Correct
foundations.
him. I didn't say delivery service. The biggest medical investment.
I allowed him. I allowed him. Roland,
please.
please.
The
You are not
biggest
being-
medical
you are-
investment.
You are not being fair to me, Roland. I allowed him speak. Let me speak.
No,
I
but
didn't
correct him
I
when
didn't
he's
interject him.
misinterpreting.
Okay, you said
Biggest medical investment that has been done so far.
Okay, fine. Tell me one that you have completed and is operational. You are going about digging boreholes and digging foundations everywhere. When President Mahama was setting up Bipe Hospital, Solar Hospital, Tolong Hospital, War Regional Hospital, revamping the Ridge Hospital, Tamale Teaching Hospital, where were you? When he was building schools, hospitals, when he was building markets, Kotokraba, Kejetia, airports, where were you? You come and sit here and you are boasting of foundations you have dug. And then when they want to expose you, you sit and say they should expose you. Finally, is that, look, let me say it here once and for all. And this time, I may want to even defend Mr. Akufo-Addo. Mr. Akufo-Addo didn't commit this mess alone. It was you, Alhaji Bawuliar, who deceived the man with warped logic, with fake analysis, with touchscreen bogus analysis, and the man believed you and said he's put the economy in your hands. Today, look at the mess you have taken us into. We are the IMF. We have to beg the IMF to even get. Then again, to Roland, please. Then again, you came and told us that we left you meat, bones. I'll end on this. That we left him bones. You see, sometimes when you drink soup and lick your hands, you forget all the meat you saw in the pot. When we left Alhaji Bawuliar $250 million sinking fund, he should tell us whether he saw the money or he didn't see it. When we left $250 million again in the GIIF, Ghana Infrastructural Fund, he should tell us whether he saw that money or he didn't. $270 million was left in a stabilization fund when Bawuliar was spending the money and licking his fingers. Did he remember that President Mahama left him it? When we left them 3 oil fields, was that a mess? When we put this country on the radar, in fact, are you aware that under the NDC, the IMF facility went for, I'll wrap up. The IMF facility went for just 937 million. Do you know that we only got 300 million before we left office? The remaining $637 million was received by Bawuliar with 2 hours. When he was borrowing, when we made Ghana attractive, and he was borrowing and begging for money and spending it, when he had the guts to appoint his family members, family and friends, and we're paying them from the state coffers, was that a mess President Mahama left him? So please, he should stop this. I have said, and I'll land on this, if he has nothing better to tell us, Mr. Bawuliar, go and sit down, prepare an e-levy cake again. You can prepare emission tax levy cake. You can prepare VAT cake, and then you people can be
Malik,
cutting it and going. But as for the mess, I will never let him leave Akufo-Addo in it alone. Akufo-Addo and Bawuliar
the
are
position of Dr. Bawuliar is that when he becomes president, all these taxes will not be in our law books.
So it means they are not good taxes. Right? So it means they are not good taxes.
I'm saying the position of
so it means they are not good taxes. Then I'm landing on this. Then Bawuliar has told Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo is very wicked, very insensitive, and Bawuliar is not fair to the old man. The old man who has confidence in him. You do this to such an old man.
I give you only 120 seconds. Calm the waters for me. Calm the waters.
The waters are not high. He's learning from Bawuliar.
No, the two of you.
That's his problem.
The
He lies too much.
The waves are hitting each other.
No, he lies too much.
No, it's okay. Please calm the waters.
Roland,
2 minutes.
When you have a newborn baby, does the newborn
Another
baby,
proverb.
Does the newborn baby, when it's born, go straight to walking?
No.
They go through a certain process. So let us talk about NSS. Do you know the benefits of NSS to the country and to the students? I'm in industry. I'm in AGI. And we see the young people coming in. In terms of maturity, nothing there. So let me give you some of the benefits. The benefits to the graduate. Skill development, work experience, network opportunities, civic engagement, personal growth, fulfillment and purpose, benefits to the nation, addressing critical needs, strengthening social cohesion, building human capital, promoting civic engagement, fostering a culture of service, enhancing national security. Quite a lot of things that would help. Now, let me go to his electric cars.
You have a minute.
Yes, I have a minute.
EVs.
He said he will use electric cars for public transport. What has happened to public transport in this country today? The first point of call is for you. The first point of call is for you to make sure that you have an efficient public transport system before you bring in anything. Have you actually assessed the electricity consumption rate for electric buses if it's in a public transport? Have you assessed it? So what is he talking about? Bringing in electric buses.
You're talking about feasibility structures
I'm telling
before you do
you,
the transition.
You should have an effective public transport system for people to decide to leave their cars at home to jump on the public service. When you go to other countries, people sell their cars because of what? There's an effective public transport system. So, for me, you should stop throwing dust in our eyes and stop playing to the gallery. Because the moment they come in, they do something different. We've seen it in this 7-year term of this government. They came in and said certain things, they've done something different. No taxation, what do you call it? Added value, all that. We won't take loans, all that. Right. What has happened?
It's okay.
No,
it's okay. What do you have to say?
The speech, we have a 70. Monday you can come back.
The mind of impossibilities has to be taken away. The vice president has. You are talking about something.
Opportunity. So we also have cash out. Please mute their mics. Cash out votes with a short code *439#. We have a couple of you also joining us as well. Thomas Acoustic says, "Come to the UK. We have a reliable transport system." Hey. Logistics Junior says, "We have constructed more public libraries than any government since 1992. We have increased the total number of public libraries from 61 in 2017 to 115 by 2023. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia." And then Gabriel says, the MPP guy is crying. No, please relax.
No, he didn't cry. He didn't cry. No. I didn't see tears.
Kasim Abdullah says, "Malik Basintale's site frightens the men." See the comments. One person sent it. You people, I want to read proper. Oh,
so you read that one. It's not proper. Roland, that's
okay. Brown Aflatus says, "The NSS is gradually losing its relevance because the youth don't get retained and it cannot be used as work experience in your CV." All right. So we have more of it. It should be done better. Okay. Now, as we prepare to do the draw, let me also just remind you, those who are sending on our console, fantastic people so far this morning. I've enjoyed the conversation. Good morning, Roland. Please tell the MPP gentleman that in Salaga here, a bag of cement is 80 cedis. Actually down.
Story OTCC no. A platform my friend PENDREAM TV. And I uti story no. Na feedback we hear and story what you know. Any story be our platform ne so be what ya opese. My feedback no. Fafa. WhatsApp message or WhatsApp number 0277128777. Na yebebo e wo PENDREAM FM Ghana for nyina ate wonka.
Debi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.